Welcome everyone. In this episode, I will be discussing the shocking truth about crude oil. There are numerous evidence that suggests crude oil is not a fossil fuel and that the planet isn't running out anytime soon. So let's dive in. We have all heard the claims and reports regarding John D. Rockefeller and how he had funded the scientific research and influenced school curriculums to state that oil is formed from fossils. Why would he do this? Well, before the regularization of automobiles and electricity, oil was very cheap and was found plentiful near the surface. The aim was to put a higher price on crude oil, and the best way to do this was to limit its supply. Now let's look a bit further into this. The deepest fossils ever recorded were found at 2.2 kilometers or 7,400 feet below the Earth's surface. The deepest we currently drill for oil is around 28,000 feet. Now most would say this is irrefutable evidence, but it's not that simple. Here's why. The process of how magma flows to the top of the Earth's surface over billions of years have forced the underlying layer of crust to be pushed down to the mantle, the lower mantle, and eventually to the core. In theory, this process would have pulled down organic matter such as fossils, decaying algae, plankton, and other plant life significantly deeper than which we currently drill for oil, onshore or offshore. This process is considered a cycle that repeats over billions of years. It is estimated that all our fossils will run out by 2060. However, with what I just stated prior, it seems unlikely that a process that has been repeated for billions of years would run out in 35 years. Here are some facts. The Drake well in Pennsylvania, USA is stated to be the first commercial oil well that sparked the first oil boom in 1859. So we have literally been drilling for oil for 166 years commercially, versus the Earth, which has been producing it for about 3.7 billion years. Additionally, there are untapped reserves of shale, as the USA has the largest known shale deposits according to the Bureau of Land Management, which is estimated around 2.1 trillion barrels. Now let's look back at the conspiracy a bit. It's been said, more notably by a video posted here 6 years ago on the Author channel. I'll post a link in the description. However, a man by the name of Fletcher Prouty explains that during the Rockefeller oil empire, at the time, he made money mostly transporting it and doing minor refining. When engines came into production, the use and price for oil went up. However, to bring the prices even higher, they began introducing the idea of oil being scarce. In 1892, there was a convention of scientists in Geneva to determine what organic substances were. The definition of something organic is that it contains hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. So it said that John Rockefeller sent over scientists who were probably employed by his refinery, as well as the scientific community, to state that oil contained hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon, and that it must be formed from the remains of formerly living matter. This would suggest that oil is limited in supply. After this convention in Geneva, oil was widely considered a fossil fuel. Then it was written in geology books and taught in schools at all levels. So what do you think? Does this theory have any merit? Let me know. Regardless, I'm not a scientist. I do not doubt, however, that maybe minerals, non-living matter below the Earth's surface may go through some process due to the extreme high temperatures and pressures that result in what we call oil today. If that's the case, then it will essentially make oil the second largest substance on the planet next to water. But let's be real here. Even if crude oil is as abundant as water, the capital and infrastructure needed to locate, drill, and pump to the surface, as well as refining, will result in the price not dropping by much. Add to that the cost of transportation and political corruption. Some of you might ask, if oil is abundant as water, why have we invested so much into alternate renewable energies? The best answer I can give you is that I have no earthly idea. All I can say is this topic will be highly debatable. However, there is compelling evidence of both sides of the argument. I believe that this will have to be studied for a long while at the same time picking up a lot of backlash from the scientific community and energy stakeholders, not necessarily to control profits, but due to the overall change resistance which happens in every single workplace and field of work.